The Skeleton Coast is the northern part of the Atlantic coast of Namibia and south of Angola, from the Kunene River south to the Swakop River. The Skeleton Coast is the world's biggest grave site for sailors and ships. The Bushmen of the Namibian interior called the region the land God made in anger, while the Portuguese sailors once referred to it as the gates of hell. Namibia is the world's 34th largest country. After Mongolia, Namibia is the second least densely populated country in the world, with 2.7 inhabitants per square kilometer. The country got its name from the Namibian Desert that stretches along the coast of the Atlantic. It is also known for its wildlife. The Namibian landscape generally consists of 5 geographical areas, each with characteristic abiotic conditions and vegetation, with some variation within and overlap between them. The Central Plateau, the Namib Desert, the Great Escarpment, the Bushveld, and the Kalahari Desert. But unfortunately, this video is not about any of these places. This video is about the Skeleton Coast, the world's biggest grave site for sailors and ships. The Skeleton Coast is the northern part of the Atlantic coasts of Namibia and south of Angola, from the Kunene River south to the Swakop River. The Skeleton Coast is dangerously known as a home for over 500 shipwrecks and stranded ships, whose skeleton you can find left behind. Before we continue, please help me reach the 5,000 subscribers milestone by clicking the subscribe button and also clicking the like and share button. I appreciate. The Skeleton Coast is Namibia's northern coastline that can be found between the Kunene and Swakop River. The coast is named after the many whales that were stranded there and died, leaving their skeletons covering the shore. But that is not the only kind of skeletons found there. The Skeleton Coast is also home to approximately 500 shipwrecks and stranded ships whose skeleton you will find left behind. According to research, the Namibian Bushmen referred to this coast as the land God made in anger. This explains why the Skeleton Coast is a hostile yet intriguing location in Namibia. The coast is divided into 2 parts, the southern and the northern stretch. The southern area runs from the Swakop River to Tora Bay and is fairly accessible. Day visits are allowed between sunrise and sunset, and you can buy a permit at either one of the entrance gates at Swakop Mount or Springbok Water. You can also find the Dorop National Park in the south, which is absolute heaven for anglers because of the large quantity of fish found in this region. But the highlights of the southern Skeleton Coast is Cape Cross, which is where the largest settlement of Cape 4 seals in the world can be found. Watching these gorgeous animals basking in the sun in large colonies is truly a memorable experience. The northern stretch from Tora Bay to Kunene is the most beautiful area of this coastline, yet it is not accessible. You can only visit this area with a qualified tour operator. This area coast is notorious for its dense ocean fog, which not only adds to its spine-chilling history, but plays an important role in the ecosystem of the landscape. Another interesting fact about Skeleton Coast is that it is the only place in the world where dunes rumble. If your timing is right, then you may be lucky enough to hear them. These dunes shift at speed of up to 500 feet per year, which is much more quickly than other dunes. Although the Skeleton Coastline is extremely cold and its waters are full of sharks, the strong current of the waves makes it a perfect surfing spot. Top surfing areas include Swakop Mount, Cape Cross, and Overhimba Point. One of the most famous ships stranded on the Skeleton Coast is the Dundee Star. This ship was a British cargo liner that transported supplies during the Second World War. During one of its sails, it departed Liverpool with cargo and 21 passengers who were trying to escape the bloodshed in London. Unfortunately, the ship hit an underwater obstacle and the water began flooding. The captain ended up grounding the ship 500 meters from the Skeleton Coast. Thankfully, no lives were lost, but the passengers found themselves stranded for days, living off the rations from their lifeboats. Rescuing the passengers was a challenge, and it took many ships and military aircrafts. One of the aircrafts even crashed during the rescue operation. The skeleton of the Dundee Star can still be seen today. The Skeleton Coast is predominantly national parkland, and despite its daunting history, the flora and fauna present on this coastline are breathtaking. breathtaking. It is incredible how the wildlife has adapted to the desert environment. You will generally find them inland near the riverbeds, but they roam on the beaches too. Freshwater springs break through the sand to create life-sustaining oases for wildlife in the center of the desert. It's more common to see South African native antelope, springbok, and the national animal of Namibia, the gemsbok. Other stunning wildlife you may find here include majestic desert elephants, desert lions, black rhinos, brown hyenas, seals, oryx, kudos, cheetahs, crocodiles, zebras, baboons, and giraffes. You may even see ostrich and black-backed jackals. The plants have also adapted to the dry skeleton coast climate. They rely solely on the fog from the Atlantic Ocean. You will find narra melons, ink bush, leaf tops, succulent plants, and lichen. You may even come across the Himba settlement. They are the natives of the skeleton coast who live across the Kunene area and in southern Angola. Himba people are a semi-nomadic tribe. They are self-sustained through cattle farming and growing crops like maize. They live in huts with thatched roofs, generally made by the women using a combination of soil, branches, and manure. Himba women can be easily recognized because of the butter fat and red ochre paste they apply to their skin, giving it a reddish tint. The red color symbolizes the rich red color of the earth, and the blood symbolizes life. They are also generally tall, slender, and have striking hair decor. The women use this paste every day to enhance their beauty and protect their skin. It is also a way to keep themselves clean, as there is not much water. The Himba culture is very conservative, but the people are accommodating and friendly. These women generally perform more labor-intense work, like milking cows, carrying water to the village, while the men are more involved in political matters. A symbol of wealth in the Himba culture depends on the number of cattle you owned during your life, and this is displayed with horns on your grave. The skeleton coast sure lives up to its name with its spooky history, but that is only a fraction of what this coast has to offer. There are a number of its famous shipwrecks that have been referred to in movies and books. Some movie scenes have even been shot on the coast. Besides its fame, the coastline is home to exotic plants and wildlife, as well as national parks like the Cape Cross Seal Reserve. The Himba settlement takes you back to Namibia's origin and tradition. If you are visiting Namibia, explore the skeleton coast for an extraordinary adventure. Let me know what you think about the skeleton coast in the comment section. If you would love to visit the coast in your lifetime. As for me, I would love to tour not just the coast, but the beautiful country of Namibia. But until then, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and enable post notifications so you not miss any of my African stories. Thank you.